Hi, I'm Peter Tragos, host of the Lawyer You Know podcast and YouTube channel. The saying goes, everyone hates lawyers until you need one. Well, I'm here when you need one to answer your questions and give you insight that you didn't know you needed. Along with my partners, Pete Sardis, the professor, who has a finance and business background, and George Tragos, my dad, and the consigliere, a criminal defense giant, we can answer any questions you have. What's up, everybody, and welcome in to a late-ish Saturday night here where we get to hang out with each other and we get to talk through what it's been like. 2 years on YouTube, 2 years doing this stuff. It's been fun. It's been a ride, and we're going to talk about that. We're going to take a trip down memory lane, what it was like when we started, why we started, how we started, what kinds of videos we started doing, what kinds of videos we're doing now. It's going to be a fun show, and it's going to be a lot of question and answer. I asked for some questions on Instagram as well at Tragos Law. If you don't follow us on there, I got a bunch of questions there as well that I'm going to answer. I'm also going to play some throwbacks that I thought were pretty fun when I was kind of looking through what the channel was like in the beginning, what some of those early videos were like. It's pretty funny. So we're gonna talk through some of them, show some of them, and then I'm even going to show you some of the very first videos our firm ever put on YouTube. We're also going to do some trivia about the channel, so you can win a shirt as part of our 2-year celebration. And if we ever get to 150K, we're going to do some more giveaways there as well. But thank you for spending your Saturday night or Sunday morning in some people's lives and where they are with us tonight. So this is fun. Yes, I watched Georgia put a whooping on Oregon today. I saw a little bit of the Notre Dame Ohio State game. I'll watch the rest after this is over, but the big game is tomorrow night, and I'm going to sport this hat and smile as we are undefeated, 1-0. That could all end brutally tomorrow night. But yes, it's a Lawyer You Know party here. If you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button. But my guess is everybody that's in the chat and here tonight is already a subscriber. They probably have already liked the video. We probably have 400 likes because that's how many people are in here already for the beginning. And I appreciate all of you as always. Yeah, 10:36 a.m. in Australia for Karina, I believe that was. It already popped through. So I appreciate all of you being here, hanging out tonight. So let's get into kind of what the point was. 2 years ago, literally 0 subscribers. We didn't try this thing a few years ago and then come back to it. It's right after COVID. I was looking for different ways to market, different ways to stay sharp and talking about the law and thinking about the law. We weren't really in a place where we needed to do anything different. It wasn't out of desperation. I just am always trying to look ahead and see what the next thing is going to be. Sorry, the camera's a little bit fuzzy. There's something wrong with the computer settings, but that'll be better by the next video. But so really the point was I want to do something that a lot of other lawyers in my area weren't doing. I wanted to do something that I feel like would tell people about our firm and let people know about our firm. But also the reason why I picked the name Lawyer You Know, which a lot of people ask about, is I have so many friends that text me, why is this happening? Is Trump really going to go to prison? Or, is this stuff real? Is this stuff fake? What's going to happen with Johnny Depp? How is this guy representing himself? How can this guy cross-examine his wife? People text me questions like that literally all the time. I answer them. I have some friends that are, I'll just say, a doctor or an accountant that I'll text and say, ask a question to or whatever. And I literally wanted to be a lawyer that other people knew that didn't have lawyers in their lives, right? I had friends in law school, never met a lawyer before, didn't know what it was like to be a lawyer. And it was a lot harder for them to kind of go through the process than me, who has my dad. I've always had a lawyer in my life. So that's kind of why we came up with the name Lawyer You Know, is because we really wanted to be a lawyer that somebody could ask questions to. And you all now on this channel have asked me all of those questions that you would ask a friend when you're sitting on the couch talking Johnny Depp, or when you see the Vanessa Bryant verdict come down. Who pays for that? Doesn't that just come out of the taxpayer dollars? things like that. And then, of course, it has turned into something bigger than we ever could have expected. And to me, getting clients now from YouTube is pretty wild. But it's fun because people already kind of know how I am and I know how they are. I mean, look, Holophonic said, "You talk too slow and simple. Sorry." That's fine. And that's kind of the point of the channel. Somebody not feeling it, not interested in it, not their vibe. That's totally fine. Nobody forces you to stay here. People can go wherever they want. And that's kind of something that I wanted, because if you think about internet advertising on Google or billboards or commercials, I didn't really want to do that. We have done some of that in the past, and it's really the microwave society where they click one, they click another. It's everything. It's instant. I wanted more of a connection, and for people to feel like when somebody calls me from YouTube and they say, "Hey, I found you on YouTube. I watched a Johnny Depp case," whatever it may be. Yeah, I've never been accused of talking too slowly, Deborah, which is funny that they said that. But the really cool thing when somebody calls me and says, "I found you on YouTube," it's like we're already friends, even if I can't help them. Because there's a lot of people that I've called and I said, "Man, I'm sorry. I wish I could do more for you. Let me see if I can get you somebody's name. This isn't an area of law I practice in. I don't want to point you in the wrong direction." Whatever it may be, it's fun and it's nice because people are generally nice when they're calling for help. They say, "I really would like you to help me. I like the way you think, or I like how you practice, or I like what you're about. I like your character," whatever it may be. And that starts us off 3 steps ahead in a relationship than what I have with clients that just find me on Google or saw a commercial or something like that. So, that is to me one of the best parts about YouTube and about meeting people through YouTube and even signing some clients through YouTube. So yeah, so that was really fun. I am starting some questions. I'm going to answer a ton of questions, but we did get some through Instagram already that I want to answer. So early on, it was funny because thank you, Chi-Town, because we did these frequently asked questions, again, trying to stay ahead of the game. About 5 years ago, we recorded, I think, like 250 short 30-second to a minute frequently asked questions, because instead of having them typed out on the website, I thought people would like videos better. So we got a company in, they recorded videos, they edited videos, and that's kind of what we went with as our FAQ page. Every website's supposed to have an FAQ page, things like that. So that's what we did. And I want to show you what those look like here. I'll show you one of the more watched ones, and I think all of you will enjoy this. And it also kind of reminds me of the whole R. Kelly trial, because a lot of people are asking this question. Thought this would be easier for me to pull up, but let's see if I click this, what happens. No, see, that's not helpful. So the one that I'm going to play you, so we talked about RICO, right? And that's one of the frequently asked questions that we get all the time. And my dad did a short, literal, 30 to 45 second video on what is RICO. And if I could find it, I would show it to you. But I do want to show you a couple of these just because it's funny to look back and see how these videos are versus obviously the videos that we do now are very different. I guess it doesn't really matter. I can play any of these. Let's just do this one. All right, here we go. So you can kind of see what they look like, give you an idea.
A police officer can stop you on the street and try to talk to you, but you don't have to talk to them. They can ask you if they can search you. You don't have to allow that search. You have a constitutional right under the 4th Amendment to just walk away. Ask the police officer if they're going to arrest you. If they're not, keep your mouth shut, leave the area.
So we did a ton of those, like a ton of those. And that's our old address. So don't write that down if you're looking. But so if you see can you see the page still? Let me see. Yeah. So you can see the page, and we have a ton of these. Like, all of these are frequently asked questions. Are there exceptions for types of employees? Am I allowed to ride my bicycle on the sidewalk? Can the police conduct a search without a warrant? Can I sue the owner of a property where I was injured? So yeah, we did a ton of those frequently asked questions. Thank you so much, Bev. And thank you everybody for the super stickers here. But yeah, so this is what it was like. And this was kind of our first iteration, but that was like 5 years ago. And that's how it started. But as you can see, the 2-year mark comes from when we actually started making YouTube videos as you see them today. And if I get past all, like I said, I think it was 250. Then we get to 2 years ago when we actually started making some real YouTube videos with topics like this. And you see, I mean, these crushed 94 views, 67 views. Look at that. I mean, we were crushing back in the day. So yeah, so that's kind of how it started. And then when I wanted to make some of these videos in my mind, I was thinking I would do some topics. I would react to some cases in the news. I am going to play a young Peter video. Don't worry. And so that's how it started. And then it went from talking about certain specific topics, hitting cases in the news. We added some, legal topics about like, how do you smoke weed legally in Florida, discussions on DUI. We did day in the life vlogs, how to pick the right law school. Then we reacted to some press conferences and interviews involving lawyers and why they were doing the things that they were doing. Then we took actual documents from cases and broke them down. And then we started actually getting some cameras in the courtroom, and we would react and respond to certain clips of trials. But then when Rittenhouse came and Nick Rekieta, I think he was the first one. There could be others. And if you don't like him, sorry. If you do like him, great. He was the first one I saw just from sun up to sundown streaming a trial. That's, again, not something necessarily that we do, but we've done a little bit of it, and that really changed the game because now we can pull these parts of trials, react to them, explain the process, and that just took it to a whole nother level. We're still doing a lot of the other ones. We still do topics. We still react to things. We still react to headlines and new cases and court documents. We still do questions and answers. I want to do more day in the life vlogs, but that it's kind of just encompassed all of that and become this thing that's been really fun over 2 years. Obviously, a lot of people have joined, and Florida's like a hotbed for a lot of these cases. So a lot of the things going on in the news is cases that are happening in Florida. So that kind of adds to it. So to do some trivia for a t-shirt, and I'm going to have to keep track of this. I thought I was going to have some help on this episode, but I do not. So I'm on my own. So I'm doing my best with the comments and all that stuff. I appreciate all of you. Yes, Azam, that's funny that you said you saw the interview of my dad with me in the background. And I answered one question. This was like my first year as a lawyer. That was my first big federal trial. I think it was 4.5 weeks in federal court. And I answered one question, and like a bus went by, and it was the loudest sound in the world. And I was like, dang, that was my chance on the news. No, but my dad crushed it. So yeah, there was a video about that. So I will keep track of who answers these questions correctly, and be nice to me. I'm doing my best as far as to track who gets them right. But we'll start off easy, okay? And so this is kind of trivia about the channel, about the Lawyer You Know channel. So somebody, before we get there, Kaylee's asking how she becomes a member. It's in the description, but the workaround on a phone or an iPad, you actually go to the website, youtube.com. You have to do it that way as opposed to on the actual app. Okay, so here we go. First question, we're going to start out easy. What is the most popular case that we've covered on the Lawyer You Know? And they're going to get progressively harder, so don't worry. So go ahead, post in the chat, make sure everybody's paying attention. We are going to pick one winner from the live chat today, and then we will pick one winner from the comments section for the rewatch crew, because we always want to provide value for the rewatch crew as well. Yes, it is Depp v. Heard for all of those guessing in there. All right. Question number 2. So you all know what the most popular case was, but let's see who's been around a little longer than the Depp v. Heard case. After Depp v. Heard, and there's kind of 2 cases that are tied, so I will give you credit for each one. The Depp v. Heard case was number 1, But what case or cases are the second most popular cases on the Lawyer You Know channel? And the hint is they came before Depp v. Heard. Yeah, Anna's like, now I'm out. This is going to be some people that were around from the early stages. I haven't seen anybody mention it yet. It's not Petito. It's not Murdaugh. It was the first one. It's not Rittenhouse, actually. Before my time, why not? Sorry. There'll be more. You can miss this one and still win the t-shirt. Don't you worry. It's going to be whoever gets the most right the quickest. Everybody's like, yeah, I'm out. Just found you with Depp v. Heard. So it was right before then. And I actually haven't. Oh, yeah, Sylvia, you're getting close there. Allie Jester, people are getting close. Sylvia and Allie Jester. Yep, Mary Liebrook. Show, the question is, what is the second most watched case on this channel? And it was actually prior to Depp v. Heard. Tori, yes. So the combo of answers is Theranos trial with Elizabeth Holmes and the Ronnie O'Neill case, which is the first pro se defendant. I know we just did Summers, but the first pro se defendant on this channel that we reacted to his cross-examination of his son that was brutal. His opening statement, closing statement was Ronnie O'Neill. So yes, Theranos and Ronnie O'Neill. All right, next question. What was, and this is one that actually started before Johnny Depp. Yes, Ronnie who yelled in court. Trivia is hard, Melanie. I agree. So this is one that started before but has lasted, and a lot of you, I think, do watch. But Rachel is new. That's okay. That's okay, because we've got more questions still. What video topic or case was the first video to hit 1,000 views on the channel? Murdaugh, I said. If I knew there was going to be a quiz, I would have studied more. Sue, don't worry about it. This is just for fun anyways. It's just for fun anyways. Britney Spears, Dan Markell. Britney Spears was close, Mia. Johnny testified. This one's hard. I don't think anybody's going to get this one. I'm going to give it about another minute before I talk about it. I will answer a question here before we put that out. Connie is a new member. That's awesome. Thank you, Bev. And thank you so much, my miracle mama. Hey, Peter, you have so much integrity. So refreshing to watch. I found you through Depp v. Heard, but I'm now a fan for life. Thank you so much, my miracle mama. And Joanne, thank you for joining here. Oh, yes, Cassandra. Cassandra, that is correct. Sean, the football player, it is Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson, when that case first started, that was actually our first video to hit 1,000 views, which is pretty wild to think about now. Hello, Kay Kraut. So yeah, that was the one. Okay, so next, and there's no way you can really know this, right? But if you were to guess the most watched legal topic video, which I think has over 15,000-ish views right now, was a question that people would ask over and over again on a legal topic. And it was how to do something. How do you blank? And if you just had to guess what that number one question would be on the channel, what would you think it would be? Aaron, glad you hit a live here. Carla is a new member. Thank you, Cassandra. So happy to catch this. Sending so much love to you and the community you have created here. Thank you for all you do. Thank you, Cassandra. Jordan Ruttenberg, if you're here, I do have your early question. I do have your early question starred. So we will get to a lot of the questions here. Sylvia is stuck on this one, something to do with insurance, how to get out of jury duty. That's a good guess. How do you hire an attorney? How do you become an attorney? We're getting closer. How to fire an attorney, how to become a lawyer, how to choose a lawyer. Very, very, very close. The actual answer is my dad and I. And if you want to go back, old setups and stuff, it's funny to go see all those. I looked through some of them today, just kind of reflecting on 2 years. It was how to become a judge. How do you become a judge? That is the most watched legal question like that. Just, yeah, choosing a law school was a good one too, Anne-Marie, but how do you choose, or how do you become a judge? All right, next, this is going to be fun because I actually pulled this one up. Anybody, and this is totally random, but it's got like, I think over 800,000 views on TikTok. John O'Rourke says this is dumb. Sorry, John, just doing some trivia about the channel. So the #1 watched video on TikTok, let's take a look at that one here. If I can pull it up. We're not going to have you guess this one because it's a totally random topic, but 869. What if I hit a car in the parking lot and no one else is around? Here's what you should do. Take pictures of the damage for both cars so you can document it. Second, leave a note with your contact information. If you're at a store or business, tell someone who works inside. So next time you're backing out of a parking spot and think, so that is the #1 watched TikTok video that we made a while ago. Just, again, reflecting over 2 years of some of the stuff we've tried and done, just so you guys could laugh at it and see how that works. The #1 watched Instagram reel was, will Amber Heard take the stand? Whose car did you wreck for that video? It's actually my buddy's car that already had some damage on it, which is funny. Yes, we do have a TikTok, the lawyer My Miracle Mama, if you want to check it out. Tyler, our newest, hopefully, attorney, if he passes the bar here in a couple weeks. He does a lot of stuff on TikTok for us right now as well. But yeah, it's always fun. And then, okay, so I want to try to find here is the young Peter. This is one of the most watched FAQ questions that we had. And it's a very different looking Peter for you all to laugh at here and enjoy this quick FAQ video.
Well, I think becoming an attorney, and especially in the type of law that we practice, personal injury, wage and overtime, and criminal defense, is really a way to help people in a way they don't know how to help themselves. So we have the knowledge and experience and schooling to be able to do something for somebody when they're in a time of need. And a lot of times we're fighting against the big guy, the government, the company, or the insurance company. And, we step in for the guy who can't protect himself, and we protect them.
What's so funny about that is everybody's like, that doesn't look like you. I swear that's me. What's really funny is that's exactly how I would describe why I became an attorney now. And this was, I think, like 5 years ago. And it's exactly how I would describe it now, because that is why I became an attorney. That's what I love about being an attorney. And I feel like that's what I love about doing YouTube too. I feel like all of you, it's the same thing. Like, we get to hang out. You get somebody to ask questions to, so you can make sure you know what your rights are and you're not just going around living life. A lot of things aren't a case, right? A lot of things are not a case, but you still have questions about them, especially as we talk through cases that are happening and documents. And, when we ask those questions, that could come up in your life. When we talk about insurance policies, when we talk about what to do when you're in an accident, or when you hit a car in a parking lot, or what to do if you're in court, or what to do if your lawyer does what Amber Heard's lawyers do. To me, that is what's so cool about this. That is what's so great about this. And I do have to say, John O'Rourke, I was messing with him, and I think some of you took it seriously. He is awesome. Yeah, he said he's a huge supporter. We'll continue. He's our lawyer, folks. Yeah, I assume he was messing around when he said this was dumb. Plus, either he was messing around or just saying, maybe move on because this is dumb. He's trying to help me make the videos good, because that's what I try to do here. Carla Ripley, thank you. Carla Riley. Thank you so much for the super chat here. Yeah, everybody's saying, yeah, I like the long hair better, the beard better. Did you ever plan on growing your hair long? No, I didn't really ever plan on it. But again, when YouTube and COVID hit, that's when I grew my hair long. A lot of people asking about that Parkland Judge show. I asked people to send me a clip of what they're talking about because I didn't watch the entire thing. So I can't watch like 5 days of trial to try to find it, but let me know and send it to Instagram or Twitter at Tragos Law, and we will check it out and definitely do a video reaction to it. John O'Rourke, it's underestimated how productive it is to have a lawyer break down how law is practiced. Thank you, John. And I appreciate you always being around, man, and all your questions throughout however long you've been here. I know months and months and maybe even over a year. So I appreciate you and everybody else that does submit questions. Ashley Harris, I just found out that in UK courts, they still wear the peruke wig. How did I not know this? Mind blown. Yes, that is a real thing. They still do that. And I always find that interesting as well. All right, Jordan Rattenvong. I take the LSAT next Saturday. Every time the clock starts, my mind goes blank. This is a problem a lot of people have. Any tips for test anxiety? I do well untimed, but not under pressure. So it's only next week, which is always, difficult. But I will say the thing that helped me the most and that helps most people is take the practice test under the timed scenario over and over again. If it's next week, I would try to take it 2 or 3 more times. Start the clock every time you take it. Never take it untimed because then you don't know the difference. And every time you take it, it's timed and you start to get more comfortable with the timing. You start to realize you're going to finish the LSAT in time, so you don't need to worry about it. And you'll feel much better as you take it and practice it with those timing, even if you get up and go to the bathroom, leave the timer running. People underestimate what it's like putting themselves under those test conditions. So when you get there, it's just the same way that you practice the whole time. Practice like you play, sporting analogy. That's how it is. That's really how it is. And I really wish you good luck. Let me know how you do. And if it doesn't go well, that's okay because you can take it again. And always remember that as well. Try to put as many things in your mind that ease the anxiety and ease the stress versus, this is time. It's going to be really hard. And you can really control a lot of that with your attitude and your practice habits. So that's what I would say is really practice a ton with the timer so it doesn't feel so daunting. Deanna, thanks for joining the membership crew. Sue, yes, I am going to do the last drop of that depot, of course. It will come out sometime next week. TS Duff, so happy to be able to hear you right now. We are on the road to NYC from California. Wow. Just crossed into Utah at the Great Salt Lake. You are entertaining us on our long drive. Thank you. TS Duff, that is a long drive. That is cool. You have to keep us posted as to why you're doing that. What's over in New York for you? At least it shouldn't be, the weather should be pretty decent, I guess, throughout. Maybe you'll hit some rain, but I don't think it's getting crazy cold up there or any snow or anything yet. But that's quite the drive from California to New York. Armand Fence. Peter, what's beyond YouTube for you? I honestly don't know. I don't know. I'm sure we'll keep trying to find new things to do. And I like to add value to content as opposed to I love sports. We've talked about it a lot. I love sports. I don't know, if people really care to hear me talk about sports or golf or things like that. So I try to keep it law-based in whatever I do. And so whatever I do next, we do TikTok, we do Instagram, we do Twitter, Facebook, all that stuff. But to me, YouTube has been really fun. So I think beyond YouTube may not happen. I think it may be YouTube for a long time, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Kate Marie, do you plan to collaborate with Jackson Bryan? They mentioned you in the last Depot video in response to a question. Would love to see it. I watch and love all 3 channels. Thank you for all you do. Kate, yes. I can say for sure this answer is yes. Now, they do it Fridays. This Friday I couldn't, and next Friday I also can't. We are going to, in the afternoon, after work, going to the Disney's Halloween, Mickey's Halloween event with the kids and my wife. So that'll be fun. But so I won't be able to do that necessarily with them, but I have been in correspondence with them. They are awesome. I am going to get on there. They have more plans even after the Amber Heard depot. I don't want to spoil them if they haven't said them yet, but I absolutely am going to collab with them either while watching a depot or doing a recap, talking about it in the whole, whatever I can do to add value to their channels. I'd love to have them on here as well. But absolutely going to collab with them. It's going to be fun. Somebody asked me what collabs I'm looking forward to in the future, and that is definitely one of them. All right, now we're going to hop over for a second to some questions that came in through Instagram. What advice, this is from Pew Pew Killed You. What advice do you have for a 15-year-old that wants to become a lawyer? I would really say that the most important thing when you're in high school is be well-rounded. Get good grades, of course. That's always important. But also make sure that you're playing sports, doing extracurriculars, and make sure you are nice to everyone. If you're planning on practicing where you live, especially, all of those people could be future clients. And how you treat them now when you're 15 is going to be important for how they look at you as a lawyer. You have no idea how many friends from elementary school, middle school, high school, them and their families, how they become clients, how they look at me as a lawyer, talk to me as a lawyer. It's very important how you treat people, right? And if you don't just want to do it out of the goodness of your heart, if you're planning on becoming a lawyer and you know that at the age of 15, that should give you more incentive to treat people well, which is advice I'd give to anybody for any profession you go in as early as possible. Yes, Bodie said, don't burn bridges. Absolutely. What has been, this is from LG275. What has been your favorite case to talk about? Honestly, it's Johnny Depp. It is a civil case with a trial, which is exactly what I do, is civil trials. Tons of people watch, so I had tons of interaction and tons of questions. That is my favorite part about YouTube. Answering questions, talking through things you're not sure of or you want to know more about. It's not just what I want to talk about, because that may totally miss the boat as to what you all are wondering. And when you ask questions, I learned so much more. Like I said, in the last trial I had, I picked that jury, and you all, I was like I was seeing your faces and your screen names while I was talking to them, listening to their answers, because I felt like on some of the answers they gave, I knew more than what they were saying, because so many of you interact on this channel so often, and you helped me hit a total verdict that's going to be over $1 million. You guys were part of that, which is cool. You know, a 7-figure verdict that people on YouTube take part in as like a really big focus group. So that's pretty cool. Suzanne C. Richardson. We don't get to see you, but we get to see you, but you don't get to see us. How does that feel? Not that weird, honestly. Really, really not that weird. Because I see some of you guys have little pictures as your icon. So it's like based on that, I kind of picture what you look like. It's really not that weird, because we talk a lot, we correspond a lot. It's like talking to somebody on the phone. Or I grew up in the AIM era where you were chatting with people and instant messaging people and stuff like that. And so to me, it really wasn't that weird. All right. This is from Chris Bean. How did you start your YouTube channel and why did you start it? I kind of already answered that one, but he asked this question. How do you balance your career as a lawyer and being a YouTube content creator? To me, yeah, Bodie said, we'll send an invoice. To me, this is an interesting question, because I honestly struggle with it, because YouTube is not something I put all of my time and energy into, obviously. Being a lawyer is my first priority. It's my job. It's what I love. It's what I went to school for. It's what I focus on. It's what I do continuing education for. But I have this way of thinking and acting that I try to be the best I can at everything I do. So it's like a tough tug of war in my head as far as how much time and energy to put into YouTube. Because if this was my full-time job and it was all I was doing, the channel would be a lot different. It would look different. It would feel different. The videos would be different, all those kinds of things. And to me, because it's not, I think there is an added benefit of that. And sorry, my wife's just telling me she just jumped on so she can start some comments. So I think there's a benefit, the fact that I am not doing just this, because I'm in the trenches. Literally, our firm had 2 trials in August, civil trials. We are dealing with what's happening right now in the law, in the courtroom, with the judges, with defense attorneys, with insurance companies, with big government, with the companies, with everything. We're literally fighting about it right now. I'm on the Civil Rules Committee, writing the current rules, editing the current rules in Florida. And to me, yes, hello to Whitney. And to me, that adds value to the channel. And so balancing it, I try to schedule about an hour a day while I'm at work to focus on YouTube or make a video. Some days I can if I'm doing depots or have other events and things like that, but I try to put an hour in there. And then nights, and weekends, I'll review cases, see what's going on. Just, like you read, I used to read a lot more about sports or fantasy football. Now I read a lot more about cases that are going on and legal things that are going on. So I'll take more time reading that. If there is a case I can watch, I'll watch that instead of a Netflix show, or usually actually while I'm watching a Netflix show. I like to multitask. So that's where I spend a lot of my time kind of doing the research and looking into things. But what's cool is my everyday work is most of the research for the answers to your questions and to breaking down these cases and what they are. So that's what makes it really cool. It makes it an easy balance. But I really, really like doing both. And I like kind of the way that it's worked out right now. And I think a lot of you enjoy it as well. Snow or beach, somebody asked. Ashley Colo, definitely beach. Favorite pizza topping, pepperoni and jalapenos. If you haven't tried it, don't sleep on it. Temba 1955. What do you think of Trump's problems over removing classified documents from the White House? Tons of people ask me about this. Honestly, I haven't read a ton about it. If he's committed a crime, I think they're going to find it, and I think they're going to prosecute him. I don't think anybody's going to hold back on it. If he didn't commit a crime, I'm sure he's going to talk about it a lot, and we're going to hear about it a lot. So I'm kind of waiting for it to get a little clarity on the situation. And then once we get clarity on the situation, then hopefully I'll have more to comment on. Mamanda, what kind of non-lawyer jobs are there in an office? In a lawyer's office, there's intake, reception, paralegal, secretary, legal assistant, marketing, bookkeeping, HR. Depends on the law firm, but there are a lot of, I guess, unless you consider paralegal and legal assistant a legal job, which it is. Ground beef and jalapeno, somebody said. I've never tried that. PHOP444 said you recently mentioned a Christian song you have been listening to. What was it? Probably 1,000 Hallelujahs. Our church has been doing that one, and I love it. Think I hit most of the Instagram questions, so we're gonna pop back here to YouTube and answer some more questions from here. Mallory Mullis. Will you cover the dad who shot the daughter's ex-boyfriend? What would have been different if a lawyer was present during questioning? So I'm going to need more specifics, like a case name, because I'm not sure which one you're talking about. Feel free to send me the case name or send us the actual video you're talking about or documents on it that you're talking about, and I will look into it. Sherry, hoping to get your thoughts. I trust you. Retired, probably off, pre-sentence investigator, probation officer, pre-sentence investigator, COO of a CBCF with state and feds, thinking of starting a YouTube channel, aware of law, etc., and YouTube pitfalls, but passionate about it. Thoughts? I think if you're passionate about it, you should try it, see if people are interested in it, see if they like it, see if they have fun with it as well. And you just need a niche audience that is really interested in it, and it can be a lot of fun. If people are there and they're asking you questions and they're talking about your field of expertise, it's a lot of fun. I wouldn't go into it thinking you're saying you're retired, so this is probably not how you're thinking, but a lot of people go into it like, I'm going to make a bunch of money. I'm going to be rich off this. I'm going to hit. My wife was just telling me how somebody called into the Bobby Bones show and her husband plays video games all day and has 7 followers, and he says, no, just wait, I'm going to hit it big. People get rich out of YouTube. I wouldn't go into it with that thought process, honestly, because I think that'll make it more depressing and harder if that's really what you're going after. But if you're going after finding some people that like to talk about what you like to talk about, boom, I think that is the best. That is the best idea, and I think you should absolutely do it if you consider it fun. John O'Rourke, let's hear it for Jordan Rottenvog for the next lawyer we need. Thanks, Peter. Thank you, John. And yes, Jordan, we're with you, man. We're with you. I guess Jordan could be a female too. So we're with you. We're with you. Go crush it. Danielle Ratana, would you stop being a lawyer to do YouTube full-time? I would not. I would not. I mean, I never say never. Okay. Never say never, but I really don't think so. I can't see it happening. Mary Liebruck, what's your daily routine as a lawyer and stay organized? I.e., how do you fit in family time, exercise, hobbies, etc., with caseloads and clients? So usually I'll get up in the morning, go to the gym a couple days a week, and then I go to the gym both weekend days. So if it's a gym day, let's say I go to the gym from 7 to 8 o'clock, come back, get a shower, get into the office 8:30, 9 o'clock, work throughout the day, handle all my cases, clients, depots, lunches with people I'll do sometimes. I'm usually home around 6 o'clock, hang out with my kids from like 6 to 8. It's pretty much just me and them and my wife. And then after 8 o'clock, my wife and I will hang out, watch a show, talk. I'll read some stuff, whatever it is. We kind of just hang out until we go to bed. That's my normal daily routine. If we have an event at night, we either go as a family or my wife will go do something with the girls, and I'll, work on YouTube stuff usually, or reading depots for a case or prepping for a trial if I have that. It's not too exciting, but I love it. I'm a routine person. My wife says too much so, but I love a routine. I love structure. Nothing relaxes me more or makes me feel better than when things are going according to plan, which you can imagine how when that doesn't happen, that's tough. Jane Blackbird, I'd love more sporting content, but just not in that hat. Go Cal Bears. Come on. We don't hate each other. Florida State and Cal, we can both be great. Let's both be great. It's not like you're from that other place. Stella by the Sea, thank you for your coverage of newsworthy cases and helping me to understand what law is all about. You have a great family, Christian values, and I appreciate you. Thank you, Stella by the Sea. I appreciate that so much. My Miracle Mama. Hey, Pete, do you know you make a funny sound with your mouth when you start your videos? It's a cute quirk. I do not know that. I don't know what sound that is, but hopefully it's not too miserable. Some people hate when people make certain noises with their mouth. Kaylee Rose Mahan, thank you for joining here. Cassandra Jaskula, I'm sure I'm mispronouncing your last name because I've said it multiple times just on this video. Personal question. Been listening to a lot of Surfaces lately. Do you have a favorite Surfaces song? And if so, what is it? So Surfaces is, if anybody listens to Surfaces, they're a total vibe. And I love listening to them. They're relaxing. They're chill. They're like surfer vibes. I love them. So I love all their songs, honestly. There's not a single song I like skip when Surfaces comes on, except maybe Sunday Best now because that was such a banger and I heard it a billion times. But the two, like when I'm in my car and I say, play this song, okay? And I tell Tesla to play this song. The two I have been doing most recently is Famous, which is like they talk about how they don't want to be famous, and then Grace, which I think is his wife's name, and it's a song about his wife. So those are the two I like the most right now, if I had to say. But it always changes. Deanna, what's the difference between a paralegal and a legal assistant? So a paralegal does a lot more legal work. They assist the lawyer. A legal assistant is more clerical. So a paralegal will draft documents, maybe do research, file pleadings, help a lawyer prep for trial, things like that. The legal assistant is more of ordering medical records, putting things in the file for the paralegal, giving the paralegal what they need to work, scheduling maybe, copies, shredding. A legal assistant is kind of really assisting the paralegal. The paralegal is assisting the lawyer. That's probably the best way to put it. Deborah, will you and your family dress up for Halloween? Yes, my wife is in control of that, so I don't know what we will be. She threw around some ideas. I can't remember what. We dressed up as the Addams Family last year for our trunk or treat, which was pretty fun. I do have a certain costume that we've discussed me dressing up as this year for Halloween, but I don't know if we're going that direction because we usually do some kind of a family theme, which is fun for our trunk or treat because our kids like to be like a ninja or a princess or something specific when they go trick or treating. So usually when we do the family theme with our own trunk is at trunk or treat at our church. Valerie Kerr, do you have an example of the reason you picked a juror from what you learned from our questions? It wasn't really that I picked a juror based on that, but it was somebody would answer a question like, yeah, that doesn't seem fair. And in the past, that might be it. But now I say, well, what do you mean? Because sometimes we think we know what people are thinking, but when they say something's not fair, we ask them why, and we determine if it's based on one of their own personal experiences, because that's going to be something that really grabs a hold of them, or is it based on something they've heard or seen or has happened to somebody else, which is maybe not as strong of a conviction, which I've learned from you all. I also ask them how they look at other people, how they look at other things. Do they have anybody else that's ever been in a case? And they talk about it in a way that a lot of you maybe talked about Amber Heard or Johnny Depp or some of the witnesses. So I try to get an idea of how they're going to feel about some of the witnesses that we call and that we bring. Pretty fun. Lisa, you also say, what's up, everybody, at the beginning of your videos. I don't know if that's intentional or not, but I like the consistency. Thumbs up. Okay. Well, good. I appreciate that because I feel like most of it, and one of the hard things about YouTube is there can be 1 out of 100,000 critics, and sometimes that sticks in your head. And when they say stuff like you make a weird noise with your mouth, or you always say, what's up, everybody, it's annoying. Sometimes that sticks more than something like this. When I read it, Lisa, I automatically thought this was going to be a negative comment, not because of you, because usually you don't leave negative comments, but saying like, you always say, what's up, everybody, maybe you should try something else or whatever is where I thought it was going. So it's a very nice ending to the sentence. But that's another thing about YouTube. Somebody asked me what the easiest thing and what the hardest thing was about YouTube. The easiest thing to me is answering questions, having the back and forth with the community, talking through things, trying to explain things, give analogies in different ways, learn from other people, help people learn from me. That's the easiest part of YouTube. And just the talking part, like sitting here, is the easiest part. The hardest part is time management, balancing time, making videos when it's only good content or real content or content that people want to hear, not a video that I want to do. That to me is the harder part about YouTube is the time and the content specifically, and trying to figure out what you guys want to talk about, which is why I always ask for suggestions. I'm always pulling stuff from messages and emails that you all send, which is really great. Megan S. I live in Lakeland, Florida. Very close, Megan. And I want to become a lawyer because of you. Well, that is awesome, and I'm honored. I'm hoping to be attending Stetson. Have you watched the Parkland trial at all? Lawyers and judges going back and forth and would like your take. Yes, and I've done some videos on it, but I've heard there's been some fireworks lately that I need to talk about, and I need to do that next week, hopefully. If you see any clips specifically that you find interesting, send them to me because I'm not going to put 5 days of trial up there. But if I can pull some clips specifically, that would be great. And if you follow us on Instagram or Twitter, which if you live in Lakeland and you want to become a lawyer and you want to go to Stetson, you definitely need to be following us on Instagram and Twitter. You need to reach out. We need to connect when you start going there. If you try out for mock trial or anything like that, sometimes I judge the competitions. I know a lot of the coaches over there. So definitely don't be a stranger. Any way I can help you, I'd love to. Megan, and good luck on your journey for sure. And thank you for the question. Anne Marie Mitchell, would you ever consider teaching law? University of Tampa offered me an adjunct position to teach their business law class or something in their entrepreneurial program, which I didn't do because I just don't have the time. I like this a lot. This feels more fun than teaching law, I think, but I've never done it I've taught I've gone to the local high schools. I've gone to my daughter's school and done like law day and taught for a day or two on law, which is fun. I don't know if I'd like doing it for a full semester. Nicole Wheeler, can't stick around, but I wanted to send some love to the Lawyer You Know team. Congrats. You've made such a difference and done so much good in such a short time. Can't wait to see what you do in the next two. Thank you so much, Nicole. I'm sporting your shirts everywhere that you sent. as I think you noticed in my stream song picture. So we appreciate you. We appreciate the support, and we love when you're around. So thank you so much, Nicole. Jane Blackbird, why do you have to ask the judge to approach? Is it out of respect or a safety issue? Jane, this is how I can tell people are smart and pay attention here, because those are the two main issues. Those are the two main reasons. For the judge's safety, absolutely. It's also why there are bailiffs there. And if you ever notice when they come up, the bailiffs will stand either between the jury and the lawyers to see if the jury can hear what you're arguing at sidebar, or between the defendant, if it's a criminal case, and the lawyers or the judge. So it is for judicial safety, but it's also a respect thing. Everything that happens in the courtroom is about respecting the judge. You ask to approach the witness, you ask to approach the bench. Everything's out of respect for the judge. And so there's no sudden movements. Like a lawyer just chasing a witness or running towards a witness, that could make people freak out. And there are guys and gals with guns in there and tasers, and you don't want them jumping at you if they think you're about to rush the bench or rush the witness. So yeah, just so everybody knows where everybody's going, it's high tension. So we just want to make sure everything's copacetic. So yes, those are the two main reasons. Valerie Kurd, thanks for answering my question. Absolutely, Valerie. Mittens Mackenzie's, what recent case, i.e. 1 to 2 years, had an outcome at trial that surprised you? I think Kim Potter was the one that was most surprising to me so far, unless I'm missing one, but that was the most surprising one to me. Do you think there will be any fallout from Dr. Husel case, i.e. outcome of his upcoming civil trials? Also, God bless. Thank you, Rotor Fib. I don't know. It's always hard to tell what the fallout's going to be after a case. And usually the criminal trials do affect the civil trials. And a lot of times civil trials and civil cases will wait till a criminal trial is over. So I do think it'll have some effect there. D. Marie is my mom and says, congrats, son. So proud of you and your accomplishments. God bless you. Thank you, Mom. Gail Joseph earlier asked, we want to meet your mom. She is in the chat right now, I guess. So you can say hello to her. D is what she goes by as her first name if you'd like to say hello, and you will meet her one day soon. Nancy Wiebe, have you ever seen someone rushed? I have seen a prosecutor rushed by a family member of a defendant, and a defendant's table rushed by a family member of a victim, all in criminal court. I have never seen it in civil court. Big difference there, you know, with tensions and things like that. Megan, I have the trial days and timestamps. I'll send them. Thank you lots. Lots of fireworks. Yes. Send them over. Send them over for sure. I would love to have a couple shorter clips maybe to see the fireworks, explain why, explain what we do and what the fallout is. I'd love that. That'd be great. Thank you. Objection Trickery. Just thought I'd let you know. Love your channel. Thank you so much. Lee G. Peter, thanks for the informative content and no foul language, such a rarity these days. Any chance you have an idea of how long we can expect to hear the status of the Depp Heard appeal? Honestly, I don't know. I just don't know. I mean, my clients ask me the same question on cases I'm working on, and the answer is just, I don't know. You don't know how long a lot of this is going to take. When you're working on the case, you have a better idea because you know what the objections are. You know the judge, you know the jurisdiction, you know how long cases usually take. That one, I really just don't know. All right, so we've got a few minutes left here. Let me see if there were any other questions from Instagram past that I missed. Oh, also a funny thing about the trial I had, the opposing counsels. There were two lawyers on the other side, one of whom we know pretty well, been a defense attorney for a long time. He's one of the top trial guys over at Wicker Smith, and then his associate who her husband is very good friends with my dad. she told me one day that she watched a couple of my YouTube videos before our trial, which I thought was so funny. So she was like, yeah, I saw, or maybe she said, I listened to a couple of your podcasts. I think she said, I listened to a couple of your podcasts prior to the trial, which is so funny. That, you know, it's out here, man. I mean, this stuff is just out here. People can hear it and it doesn't bother me one bit. People have asked me, are you worried that opposing counsel or the other side or judges can watch your YouTube videos? No way. Especially because a lot of them have to do. I learned a ton from both of the lawyers on the other side during this trial, and I told them that, and that's absolutely true. I learn a ton every trial I have. I learn from the other side. I learn from the judge. I learn from, you know, my co-counsel, from my client. You just soak it all in, and you try to be a sponge, and you try to learn from the opportunities, because not a lot of these cases go to trial. So every time they do, I try to learn as much as I possibly can from them. But I did think it was really funny that she had either watched the YouTube channel or listened to the podcast. Tori, I'm so proud to be part of the gallery. It makes me feel like a real part of your channel and family because you literally answer all our questions. Not all channels go that far for their members. Thank you, Tori. I'll answer as many as I can. I always answer as many as I can, and I try to pick the questions that will build the content, add more questions, add context. That's really what I look for in the questions. And I don't know what other communities are like or other YouTube channels are like, but you guys drive the content and you make it so interesting. And it's true. The old adage that if you have the question, somebody else probably does too. That's so true. And I think that's why people really like the question and answer portions of the channel. Azam, happy 2 years, Peter. Congrats. Entering my 4th month today. Thanks for your unbiased views. I like the popping sound you make with your mouth. It makes me laugh every time I hear it. Love to Whitney and respect. That's awesome, Azam. Well, good. I'm glad you do. Wouldn't be a video without some of Azam chats as well. This is a good time for you, right? At least it's not 2 a.m. your time or anything like that. That's always good. So thank you so much. And yeah, 4 months, that reminds me, some people that are members, they asked if I see their anniversary chats. I do not see them. We're trying to figure out if there's a way I can see them, but I do appreciate them. Emily, I came to the lawyer you know when I want straight, I come to the lawyer you know when I want straight facts. The other commentary is fun, no shade, but appreciate the efficiency in your breakdowns. Congrats. Yes, Emily. And I try to let you know video title. I think the same thing. I was just telling my wife today, I'm like, I'm prepping for this video and I'm saying, I don't know. I mean, I don't know why people want to just like hear me talk about random stuff. You know, I like when there's a topic I can prep for and break down a case and give you some legal angles and give you what the lawyers are thinking, what the judges are thinking, why this is happening in the courtroom. That's more my vibe and my space. I'm not an influencer. I don't want to be an influencer. I don't think I'll ever be, you know, sitting here just having you follow me around and see whatever I do all the time. So I totally get you, Emily. No offense taken. But I try to let you know what the title is if it is not going to be some specific legal topic, so you don't have to come watch if you are here for the straight facts on a case, because usually that's what I'm all about. Megan's Graves. Do you think the Vallow trial will proceed as planned, even though Lori has been in the hospital all the time? I really don't, but that's just, you can call me a skeptic. And I've been doing this long enough to, if I'm going to bet, which I guess is what you're asking me to do, I'm going to bet that the trial gets continued. I really just, I think it's going to get continued because, yeah, she hasn't had the same amount of time Daybell has had to prepare. And if she needs more time, I think the judge has to give it to her. But we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. That is one I'm absolutely going to follow. That case is fascinating. That and Murdaugh. Lisa Boris. Peter, yes, as a teacher, I learned as much from my students as they did from me. You are so wise to be open-minded and not a know-it-all. Happy anniversary. Well, yes, you have to be wise to know you're not a know-it-all. And you also have to realize that you've been wrong, right? And I know I've been wrong plenty. So I got to learn from that. And if you think you're right all the time, it's not going to go well for you. People usually don't like know-it-alls, right? So yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. 808 fee. What's your opinion on the Cruz trial, life or death penalty? I've had this conversation lots, and I go back and forth on the death penalty all the time about, you know, what I feel about it overall. But I think putting that aside and realizing we are a state that has the death penalty and looking at the aggravating factors, I do lean that this is a death penalty case. I've been wrong about that before, though. So, because it takes a lot, as it should, for 12 people to make that decision about somebody else. Ashley Ducharme, late to the party, long day, went to live golf event. How was it? Any golf tips, advice? Thanks for all you do. Love your channel. Can't wait to hear more about the golf charity event with Rob. Yes, that is going to be coming up at some point in the future when the weather's nice here in Florida. Golf tips. I've got lots of golf tips, but maybe some of them you don't want. It makes me a little bit crazy. Maybe we'll do a video on that one day. Just golf tips, and the 5 people that are interested can come join us. Bev, got to bounce, but congrats again. And thank you for the PSL this week. Happy to provide it. Much love to the entire Tragos family. Enjoy your Labor Day weekend. You as well, Bev. And thank you, everybody that joined us here. Yeah, where is the wooden button? We'll get it soon. Cassandra, Peter, your idea of offering grace to people has really touched me on a new level. You may not realize it, but you are truly affecting the lives of the people who follow you. Well, Cassandra, you are too kind. Honestly, you are too kind. And yeah, again, same thing as being a know-it-all. It's like you learn to give a lot of grace because you realize you've gotten a lot of grace and you need a lot of grace in your life. And that's the best and easiest way to live. Now, it's not always easy to do, but at least if you're trying to, and it's in the forefront of your mind, hopefully you'll be able to do it more. So yeah, it is tough, but I appreciate that. And yes, I think we should all practice doing that a little bit more. Sherry and Max, your followers are the best, and that's a reflection of who you attract. Amazing. Well, that is, I take that as a major compliment then. If, we're a reflection of who our subs are, because that is cool. I never thought about it like that, but I appreciate that. And that's awesome. It's like you are who your friends are, or whatever they say. My miracle mama, you might think all you do is educate on the law and the facts, but you also exemplify great character and give me hope. Love to you and yours. Miracle mama, man, I should do more of this because you guys are being so nice. It's so funny. That's awesome. I appreciate all of you guys so much. This was a lot more fun than I was expecting. As I said, these are always the tougher ones for me, where it's just like, go on and talk and answer some questions, Rachel said. And I was like, okay, I'll do that. But you guys make it the best. And I should just trust you're going to bring the questions that make it fun. Suzanne, thanks so much for the super sticker. All right. Nicholas, just wanted to say hi. Thank you, Nicholas. A staple here. In a practice, if the founding partner becomes medically impaired cognitively, what should the practice do? So usually you have things in place for this, documents and contracts and partnership agreements. So usually there is a transition plan. What is your favorite video you've made? A lot of those late night lives in the Johnny Depp trial were so much fun. Like, it was crazy. It was wild. I was learning what super chats were. I was learning how to manage questions and stuff. So I'm sure I messed up a ton of it, but those were the most fun and fast paced, and the hour just flew by. I also loved doing the mock cross-examination on Amber Heard. That was a lot of fun as well. Thank you, Azam, again. Jane Blackbird, appreciate you and your channel. Straightforward and unbiased. I feel welcome, even though I'm a heathen from California, a Pac-12 fan. Hey, well, we welcome everybody here, right? Everybody's got different views, different beliefs, different things they love. Even the Pac-12, which is harder and harder to love, it seems, as time goes by. But I'm glad you're here. Appreciate you. Everybody, honestly, different opinions, different backgrounds, different thought processes are always awesome. Rich Cat Ranch, you've definitely brought much humanity to my perception of lawyers. Thank you for all you share with us, for being a great guy to know, even if only on YouTube. Yes, but always reach out if you need me, or if you have a question, I'm happy to help. So yeah, it can be more than just YouTube if you ever need it, but also just YouTube is fun as well. And that's funny, Rich Cat Ranch. I played pickleball a couple weeks ago with this really nice guy, and my buddy's a firefighter paramedic, and he's like, oh, I'm a paramedic firefighter. I was like, oh, that's great. Are you too? And I'm like, no. He's like, no, he's a lawyer. And we all start laughing. He's like, I hate lawyers. I also used that in my jury selection. I was like, anybody just hate lawyers? Because people just hate lawyers. And a lot of you that, maybe don't know any lawyers or only know some lawyers that are jerks, because there are some that are jerks. I get it. And so I'm glad some people can come around on lawyers from this channel and maybe some other channels on YouTube. Do I have any shirts, Ashley said, from the Chicagoland area? I don't think I have any from any golf courses in that area. I do not. I don't even know what the big time courses are there. So let me know. Bodie, yeah, I was surprised there's a Christian lawyer. I didn't even know you were a Christian for a long time. Yes, Bodie, I am. Jen Burns, thank you for the super sticker. Amanda Harris, my daughter's decided she wants to go to law school and become a lawyer. She said she wants to be who questions people. Oh, she wants to be the one who questions people. She's 12, but because of you and a few others, I know how to help her and push her toward this. Yes, Amanda. And we've done a lot of videos on that. And I think you should check them out and show them to her. I mean, they're all clean. The ones that are like answering questions, what do you want to do what should you do if you're like a high schooler who wants to be a lawyer? How do you prep for law school? How do you pick the right major? How do you pick the right law school? We've answered a ton of those questions. Mary Leebrook, why are some lawyers jerks though? Honestly, I was thinking about this the other day. And even in my trial, there were some parts there. And I think lawyers think that is the right way to lawyer, to be a bully and you're going to get something over on people. And a couple times at some trials I've had, these lawyers will say stuff to me to try to push or bully. And I just smile and say, thanks. I'm just going to keep rolling here. You can ask the judge if you want. That's what I say. Exactly what I said I would do if I was Johnny Depp's lawyer in that depot. I'd say, okay, are you going to instruct her not to answer or not? They really try to, and I think it goes off into their life too sometimes where they're like that, and it's just unbecoming, personally. Does the state of Texas have a cap when it comes to defamation? I've heard so many different opinions when it comes to the Jones verdict. I believe they do, 808 fee. I believe they do have a cap. I'm not positive what it is as we sit here today. Leslie P., I hope golf and lawyering are going well. Yes, they are. And what's up, family? Pooh Bear. Emily, am married to a lawyer, can confirm. That's good. All right. That's going to be a wrap. We're just over an hour tonight. Thank you to everyone that joined and made this so much fun. This is what drives the content. It's been fun. It's been 2 years. I hope we do it for many years to come. So always let me know in the comments what you think, what questions you want to know. We will have the winner of the t-shirt from the live chat and the winner of the t-shirt from the comments. We will announce them on our YouTube community page. So you have to be a subscriber to our YouTube page. So check out that community page, and we will reach out to you. And Audra Cohen is going to take us out here on a high note with a super sticker. You guys are the best, as always. And, I'm lucky to be able to do this. I really do feel lucky to be able to do this and have fun with it. I can't believe it became this after how it started, but always fun. You guys are the best. Until next time, I'm out of here.